Ever scroll through a website that just works? You know, maybe it's that sleek e-commerce site seamlessly suggesting products you actually love, or maybe a university portal that just effortlessly adapts to your phone, giving you critical info on the go.
Right. Smooth experiences.
Exactly. But these seamless online experiences aren't magic, are they? They're the result of, well, meticulous web development, this intricate, often invisible backbone of nearly every business interaction today.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what's really going on behind the scenes to make it all work? To keep our data safe. And, to ensure a business's message actually reaches its audience.
What if you, as a future business leader, really understood these mechanics well enough to, say, shape your company's digital destiny?
Well, from the captivating user interfaces you see every single day to the really complex data infrastructures that power global commerce, web development it's like a symphony of technology and strategy.
And for students like you, especially those here at Tarleton State University's Dr. Ciampa College of Business, understanding this stuff isn't just for the coders anymore. It's really a foundational skill for any future leader in our, well, increasingly digital world.
Right.
It introduces and develops those essential skills in applying emerging business productivity information technology tools, especially, the business-oriented utilization of the internet.
That's it. Get ready to level up your understanding, folks. This deep dive is your essential guide to understanding the tech that's reshaping every industry and really empowering every business. We're going to unlock the secrets behind creating, securing, and optimizing your digital footprint. But before we truly unpack all this, if you're finding this deep dive valuable, do us a quick favor.
Yeah, please do.
Hit that like button, subscribe, and maybe share with someone who needs these insider tips to position themselves for a bright future in their chosen careers. And remember, all the extra resources we mentioned, they're waiting for you down in the description below.
Definitely check those out. So today, we're taking a deep dive into the foundational skills of web development, drawing insights directly from Technology for Success, Computer Concepts, Chapter 9.
Okay.
Our mission here is to equip you with the knowledge to not just, describe the fundamentals of information technology concepts, hardware, software, security, privacy, but to truly apply them.
Right. Make it practical.
Exactly, enabling you to make smarter business decisions and leverage the internet as a powerful, ethical productivity tool for, well, critical business research.
Okay, let's unpack this then. When we talk about web development, it feels like this vast ocean, right? Code complexity. Where do we even begin?
Yeah, it can seem that way.
But at its core, there are three fundamental languages that are the starting point for creating any digital presence, aren't there?
Yeah.
What are these basic building blocks we really need to get?
You're absolutely right. Think of it like building a physical business storefront.
Okay.
You need a sturdy structure first, right? Then you need to make it look good. Paint, signs, aesthetics. Yeah. And finally, you need those interactive elements, maybe automatic doors, engaging window displays, things that draw customers in.
Gotcha.
On the web, these distinct roles are played by HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These three, they are the bedrock for understanding software development, which is, frankly, a key learning outcome for anyone navigating the digital economy today.
HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the big three.
Exactly. Let's start with HTML, or hypertext markup language. Its core purpose is to define the content and the layout, literally, the text, images, links, forms, and just the overall arrangement of elements you see on a page.
So it's the bones. The structure.
Precisely. It's the skeletal framework of your web page, the underlying blueprint. Now, the latest major release, HTML5, which was published by the W3C, that's the World Wide Web Consortium, they're kind of like the web's global referee, making sure there are universal standards.
Ah, okay. Like the UN for web standards, making sure everything plays nicely together. That's a great way to think about global compatibility.
It is, and HTML5 brought some truly revolutionary advancements.
Revolutionary. Okay, what was the biggest game changer from, say, a business and user perspective?
Well, arguably the biggest game changer was multimedia integration. Before HTML5, if you wanted to embed video or audio directly into a web page, it was often clunky.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Plugins everywhere.
Right. You needed external plugins like Adobe Flash, which, constantly prompted users for updates, introduced security risks, and were notorious for draining battery life, especially on mobile devices.
Total pain.
Exactly. But HTML5 introduced native audio, video, and even canvas elements for drawing graphics. This wasn't just a convenience, it was a revolution that, well, it democratized online video and interactive graphics.
How sweet.
It allowed for direct playback right in the browser without needing any extra software. For businesses, this meant massive cost reductions in content delivery and a dramatic drop in user friction.
So users weren't hitting those roadblocks.
Precisely. Think about how platforms like Netflix and YouTube could then scale massively. It fundamentally altered how businesses engage with rich media, creating entirely new advertising revenue streams. That's a huge business implication right there.
That's a fantastic example. No more annoying prompts to download a new plugin just to watch a video that's a huge user experience win. Directly impacts customer retention, engagement.
Absolutely.
So what other significant ways did HTML5 improve how websites communicate, maybe with users or even with search engines?
That's where the focus on semantic meaning came in. HTML5 introduced tags like article, section, header, footer, aside, and figure.
Okay, that sounds descriptive.
They are. And they aren't just for styling. They provide self-describing structures.
Yeah.
Imagine building that physical store. Again, these are like clear signs saying, this is the main display, this is the checkout counter, or here are the daily specials.
Right, signposting.
Exactly. This clear signposting of digital information is vital. It helps organize web content, clarifies meaning for both human developers and, crucially, for search engines and assistive technologies, like screen readers for visually impaired users.
So accessibility too.
Definitely. It significantly boosts accessibility and search engine optimization, SEO, making content easier to find and consume across diverse platforms, including, these emerging AI-driven search models we're seeing.
So it helps computers understand what the content means, not just what it looks like. That seems incredibly important for how search engines and even AI assistants process information today.
Absolutely critical. It also brought enhanced forms with new input types for things like telephone number, email, date, and time.
Things that used to need extra code, right?
Exactly. This might sound minor, but it streamlines data capture, making user interactions faster, more intuitive, without needing additional complex scripting. For a business, what does that mean? Higher conversion rates on contact forms or checkout pages, less friction.
Makes sense.
And for developers, HTML5 offered a much simpler Doc-C-type HTML syntax compared to previous versions, making development more straightforward. Plus, new application programming interfaces, or APIs, that can be used extensively with JavaScript, opening doors for much more advanced interactivity.
So easier to write, more powerful possibilities.
You got it. And this widespread support across all major browsers, smartphones, tablets, it ensures rich, dynamic user experiences and, importantly, crucial backward compatibility for older content, too.
That really simplifies things, yeah, both for the developer and the end user. It's clear how HTML really sets the stage. So how do businesses leverage this foundational language day to day?
Well, from a business application perspective, HTML is utterly essential. A marketing team uses it constantly to structure compelling product descriptions with clear headings, bullet points, links.
The basics of communication.
Right, or to lay out internal business documents, maybe on an intranet. For managers, internal company portals, often built with robust HTML structures, are key for sharing information efficiently across the organization. This demonstrates foundational IT concepts and how you can create structured business documents, effectively a direct application of what you're learning.
Got it. So HTML is the skeleton. What comes next? The style.
Exactly. Next up, we have CSS, or cascading style sheets. While HTML gives us the structure, the building blocks, CSS dictates the visual presentation of that HTML content.
Okay.
Think fonts, colors, spacing, layout, alignment. It's essentially your brand's visual identity online. It determines how your digital storefront looks to every single customer.
And the cascading part, what's that about?
The cascading system of CSS is actually quite clever. It resolves style conflicts. Say you have two rules trying to style the same thing. CSS applies rules based on specificity, like how precise a rule is.
Okay.
Inheritance, where styles are passed down from parent elements, like a default font for the whole page.
Right.
And importance, like a specific override. It ensures consistent application of your visual design.
So it's not just about picking a color, but about making sure that color shows up consistently everywhere you want it to, and gracefully handling any potential conflicts if, say, two different style rules try to color the same text. That seems critical for brand consistency.
Exactly. And this is where CSS's cascading system becomes like your secret weapon for brand consistency.
How so?
Well, imagine you're rolling out a new brand palette without understanding how CSS prioritizes styles. Is it a company-wide setting or a quick local override? You could easily end up with like a dozen different shades of brand blue across your website, your app, your emails.
Yeah, that looks unprofessional.
Totally. That inconsistency dilutes your brand message, confuses customers, erodes trust. Knowing the cascade ensures your digital storefront always reflects your brand vision accurately, protecting your professional image and ensuring a unified customer experience.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Consistency is key.
In CSS Level 3, particularly with the introduction of media queries, laid the foundation for something incredibly important today: responsive design.
We hear that term all the time.
Right. Media queries allow developers to apply different styles based on specific media types, like screen or print, and features such as the width, height, or orientation of a device. This is the key that unlocks websites that adapt seamlessly to different screen sizes. We'll definitely dive into that more deeply.
Good.
The syntax itself is pretty straightforward. You have selectors that target HTML elements like H1 for a main heading,
Okay.
and then declarations that define properties such as color.blue or font size 12px. These styles can be applied in a few ways: externally via a linked style sheet, which is usually best practice.
Why is that?
Keeps your styles separate and organized, easier to update globally, but you can also apply them internally within style tags in the HTML, or even directly within an HTML element using inline styles, though that's generally discouraged for maintenance reasons.
Got it. External is cleaner. So CSS is really the artistic director of the web page, making sure everything looks on brand, but also adapts dynamically to different viewing environments. That's a powerful tool for visual branding and user experience.
That's a perfect analogy. For marketing teams, CSS is indispensable for designing brand-consistent web pages, vital for maintaining that unified brand identity across all digital platforms. This showcases how to create business documents with appropriate formatting and layout, applying IT concepts directly to visual design and reinforcing your ability to integrate business software applications for a cohesive brand presence.
Makes sense. So HTML structure, CSS style. What's the third piece?
Yeah.
JavaScript.
Right. Moving on to JavaScript. This is where your website truly comes alive. Its core purpose is to add dynamic behavior and interactivity to web pages.
Okay, like what?
Think about checking form inputs in real time, like when you type your email in and it immediately tells you if the format is wrong.
Yeah, helpful.
Or performing calculations without reloading the page, maybe on a mortgage calculator. Or dynamically updating content based on user actions, like filtering products on an e-commerce site.
Ah, okay.
It's what makes your website engaging and responsive to user actions as an event-based imperative programming language. Bit of jargon there.
Huh, yeah. What does that mean, simply?
It means JavaScript transforms those static HTML pages into dynamic interfaces. It responds to user actions, clicks, scrolls, key presses, making the page feel alive.
So it's not just showing information, but making the user feel like they're having a conversation with a website, like a dynamic shopping cart updating as you add items, rather than having to refresh the whole page. That's a massive leap in user experience.
Precisely. Think of JavaScript as like the master architect who can dynamically redraw or rearrange any part of the website's blueprint in real time.
How does it do that?
It interacts directly with something called the Document Object Model, or DOM. The DOM is essentially the entire blueprint, or you could say the family tree of your web page. Every paragraph, image, button, they're all branches on this tree.
Right.
JavaScript can manipulate these elements, change their content, adjust their styles, all in response to user input.
Powerful.
Very. And a powerful technique called AJX, that stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML, allows JavaScript to retrieve new content from a server in the background without needing a full page reload.
Like checking for new emails without refreshing Gmail.
Exactly like that. It makes web applications feel much faster and more fluid. Now, what's fascinating here is that with technologies like Node.js, JavaScript is no longer confined just to the client-side browser.
What do you mean?
It can also be used for server-side scripting. So the same language can power the front end you see and the back-end logic running on the server. This demonstrates its immense versatility and its key role in full-stack development, building both sides of the application. It powers everything from real-time chat applications to complex data processing on the server.
That's quite a jump from just client-side interactivity to controlling the server, too. It really expands its potential for building incredibly complex, data-driven applications. So JavaScript is truly the engine of dynamic web experiences.
Absolutely. For e-commerce companies, JavaScript is crucial for those dynamic shopping cart updates, real-time product filters, instant form validation, all essential for reducing friction and boosting conversions.
Okay.
Online banking platforms rely heavily on secure JavaScript for dynamic displays and processing financial transactions. And for you, as students, understanding JavaScript is key to building interactive business multimedia presentations, allowing dynamic content that goes far beyond static slides.
Or even building custom tools.
For sure, maybe developing custom tools to manage data effectively. It's a skill that serves you really well in integrating various business software applications.
Okay, so HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Is that it? Or are there other players?
Well, there's one more worth mentioning, especially regarding performance: WebAssembly.
WebAssembly. Never heard of it.
It's an alternative to JavaScript, but specifically designed for running high-performance code directly in web browsers. It's supported by all the major browser vendors: Google, Apple, Mozilla, Microsoft.
High performance, like faster than JavaScript.
Potentially, yes, for certain types of tasks. Developers typically don't write directly in WebAssembly, though. Instead, languages like Rust or C compile down to WebAssembly.
Okay.
This allows really complex applications, think demanding video games, advanced photo editors, even CAD software to run at near native speeds right inside a web browser. Things that used to require a desktop app.
That sounds incredibly powerful for computationally intensive tasks. But from a business perspective, does this mean JavaScript is becoming less relevant? Or does it open up new complementary roles for both technologies?
That's a great question. WebAssembly isn't really replacing JavaScript, it's complementary. JavaScript remains absolutely indispensable for everyday UI logic, handling user interactions, dynamic content updates, all that stuff. WebAssembly steps in for those really performance-critical parts of an application.
You give an example.
Sure, think of it this way. JavaScript builds the responsive dashboard, the interactive controls, the menus.
Right.
While WebAssembly might handle the heavy-duty mathematical calculations for a financial modeling tool or the complex graphical rendering for a 3D product viewer, tasks that would otherwise bog down the browser if done solely in JavaScript.
So they work together.
Exactly. For businesses, this means web-based tools can now offer the kind of performance that was once exclusive to desktop applications. This opens up entirely new markets for browser-based software as a service, SaaS solutions. It really illustrates the continuous evolution of software and hardware, pushing the boundaries of what web-based tech can achieve, highlighting how software design is constantly influenced by hardware capabilities.
So we have our core languages, HTML for structure, CSS for style, and JavaScript for interactivity, with WebAssembly maybe pitching in for the heavy lifting. These are the bricks and mortar of the web.
A good way to put it.
But once you have the building blocks, how do you decide what kind of digital building you're actually going to construct? That seems like the next big strategic question for any business.
Absolutely. It's like deciding, are you building a grand interactive cathedral that needs constant updates and user interaction, or maybe a nimble, efficient pop-up shop that just delivers information quickly?
Right. Different needs.
Exactly. The choice between different website types and creation tools directly impacts scalability, ongoing costs, and the level of technical control a business needs. It's all about aligning the technology with specific business needs and, leveraging web-based technologies for effective business-oriented utilization of the internet.
Makes sense.
A fundamental choice, really, is between static and dynamic websites.
Okay, static versus dynamic. I remember hearing an analogy once. Something about an artist.
Yeah, I think I know the one you mean. A Reddit user put it quite well. Imagine you're an artist drawing pictures for guests.
Right.
Static art is pre-drawn before guests even arrive. It's generic, maybe, but instantly ready. Dynamic art is drawn for each specific guest as they open the door. Tailored, personalized, but it takes a moment longer to create. The artist here is the web server. That analogy perfectly captures the essence, and it's highly illustrative for business. Static websites are characterized by simple, pre-generated HTML pages. The content remains constant, looks the same for every visitor, until a developer manually updates the files.
So no personalization based on the user.
Generally, no, not without involving other services. The advantages are clear, though. They're extremely fast loading because they can be easily cached or stored by browsers.
Makes sense, it's just a file.
Right. They're highly secure, generally speaking, because there's less server-side processing, fewer attack vectors, and they're typically cost-effective to host. Ideal for basic informational sites, online brochures, portfolios, or maybe small businesses with infrequent updates. It's also an excellent way to demonstrate proper file management techniques, since you're often directly working with those HTML files.
Gotcha. But what are the downsides?
The limitations. Well, they can be difficult for non-technical users to update the content themselves. You usually need a developer, they have limited interactivity, and generally can't process user input or interact with databases without relying on external third-party APIs or services. They excel at presenting fixed information, but struggle with personalized experiences or complex functions like e-commerce checkouts.
So great for a digital brochure or a basic company info page where the message rarely changes, but definitely not for something that needs to constantly react to user input or pull information from a database, like an online store.
Exactly. Dynamic websites, on the other hand, are database-driven. They're generated programmatically, kind of assembled in real time each time a page is requested.
So the server does the work when you ask for the page.
Precisely. Their content, appearance, features, they can all change to suit individual users. They can process input, store data, interact with databases.
Huge difference.
Massive. This offers significant advantages. They're highly interactive, generally easy to manage and update content, often via content management system or CMS, which we'll talk about, and they're scalable for larger firms. They can personalize user experiences, handle e-commerce transactions, manage user accounts. Think of giants like Amazon, Facebook, Reddit. Those are prime examples.
Okay.
It's worth noting, though, that even modern dynamic sites often use clever caching mechanisms to deliver pre-generated content for common requests. This kind of blurs the lines a bit and allows for near-static site speed sometimes, improving user experience.
So they try to get the best of both worlds.
Kinda, yeah. This dynamic approach directly relates to creating and managing data with database software and integrating business software applications for interactive experiences, which is a key learning outcome for effective business operations.
Right. So static or dynamic is a big choice. What about the tools to actually build the site?
Good question. When it comes to website creation options, businesses have a whole spectrum of tools, each with its own trade-offs in terms of ease of use, flexibility, and cost.
Okay.
On one end, you have website builders like Wix or Squarespace. They're extremely easy to use, often featuring these drag-and-drop interfaces, allowing for really quick setup.
Yeah, I've seen ads for those. Looks simple.
They are, but the downside is their flexibility is often limited in terms of deep customization, and you're often kind of tied to that builder's ecosystem, their hosting, their features.
The little lock-in.
A bit, yeah. They're perfect for entrepreneurs, maybe individuals needing personal branding, or small businesses looking to establish a quick online presence without needing any coding knowledge. Speed to market and ease of use are the big wins there.
Okay. What's the next step up?
In the middle, we find content management systems, or CMS, platforms like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal. WordPress is the most popular by far.
Right, I've heard of WordPress.
Yeah. Oracle actually defines a CMS as a set of integrated tools and processes that support the creation, organization, and publishing of your message in any form or medium.
So it's more than just building pages. It's managing the whole content lifecycle.
Exactly. Their ease of use is, let's say, moderate. They offer more control than builders, but they do require some understanding of things like hosting, plugins, maybe themes.
A bit more involved.
A bit. But the flexibility is generally high. They support multiple contributors, different user roles, and offer extensive customization through themes and plugins. There's a huge ecosystem around platforms like WordPress.
So better for teams?
Definitely. CMS platforms are ideal for medium to large businesses, blogs with lots of content, marketing agencies, anyone who needs flexibility, collaborative content creation, and robust features like user management, content scheduling, things like that.
That makes perfect sense. It's like having a team of content creators all working on the same digital canvas, but with different roles and permissions. That seems powerful. But you mentioned different types of CMS before. How do they differ, and why would a business choose one over another?
That's a crucial distinction for strategic decision-making, absolutely. A traditional or coupled CMS is where the back end, the content management part where you write and edit, and the front end, the user experience, what the visitor sees are tightly integrated.
Like an all-in-one package?
Pretty much. It's a one-stop shop. While straightforward for simple websites, it can limit publishing content easily to channels other than the website itself, and it can sometimes slow down quick updates. Think of a classic blog platform.
Okay, what's the alternative?
Then there's the headless CMS. This is a more modern approach. It's essentially an API-driven content repository. It stores your content, but it doesn't dictate how or where it's displayed.
So it just holds the content like a library.
Exactly. It provides content via APIs to any channel, a website, a mobile app, a smart display, maybe an IoT device.
Wow, very flexible.
Immense flexibility for developers, yes, because they can build custom front ends using whatever technology they want. But the downside is marketers usually need developer help for every single content update or presentation change. It's chosen for complex omnichannel strategies where content needs to be truly portable and adaptable.
So one offers simplicity, but maybe less reach, and the other offers massive reach, but needs more technical heavy lifting. It sounds like businesses often need something in between those two extremes.
Precisely. And that's where the hybrid, or sometimes called decoupled CMS, comes in. This is a powerful blend, really trying to serve both marketers and developers effectively.
That's to both worlds.
That's the goal. It allows non-technical users, like marketers, to publish content independently using a user-friendly interface like they're used to,
Okay.
while simultaneously enabling developers to manage that content centrally and deliver it across multiple channels using APIs, ensuring consistent customer experiences everywhere. It gives marketers control over daily content and developers the flexibility for innovation and building custom experiences.
That sounds like a really smart balance.
It often is.
Yeah.
And taking this a step further, there's the embeddable hybrid CMS. This allows the CMS functions and even its configurable user experience to be embedded directly into other applications that teams already use.
Like what?
Like embedding content creation tools directly into Microsoft Word or asset management into Adobe Creative Cloud.
Whoa, so you don't even have to leave the app you're working in.
Exactly. This promotes seamless adoption and integration into existing workflows, which can dramatically boost productivity and consistency across the entire enterprise.
That's pretty cool.
And why an optimized CMS matters is crucial for any business leader to understand. It empowers organizations to achieve ambitious content strategy goals, increase the ROI on their content by repurposing it easily across departments and channels.
Makes sense. Create once, use many times.
Right. And deliver relevant, consistent customer experiences at scale. Conversely, an ineffective CMS. It leads to discouraged customers due to inconsistent messaging, siloed content that can't be easily reused, IT bottlenecks, ultimately reducing site traffic and conversion rates. Understanding this directly addresses integrating business software applications and managing data effectively core components of business success.
Okay, so builders, CMS. What's the other end of the spectrum?
And on the far end of the spectrum for creation options, you have hand coding. This typically involves using an integrated development environment, or IDE, basically sophisticated code editors.
So writing the HTML, CSS, JavaScript from scratch.
Pretty much, yeah. Often alongside server-side languages like Python, Ruby, PHP, C#, and various frameworks. It's complex, obviously. It requires a deep understanding of all these technologies.
It's definitely not for beginners.
Not usually, no. But the advantage is it provides full control and ultimate customization. You're limited only by the developer's skill and imagination.
So total freedom.
Total freedom. It's favored by tech firms, startups needing highly specific or unique functionality that off-the-shelf solutions just can't provide, or when building cutting-edge proprietary applications. And for students aiming for web development roles, it's an essential skill to master, giving you complete command over the digital environment.
Right. Okay, so we've covered the building blocks, the types of sites, the tools. Now here's where it gets really interesting for the user experience. You know how websites magically rearrange themselves to fit your phone or tablet? Responsive design?
Intuitively, we know that's a better experience. But what's the real secret sauce behind that magic of responsive design? And maybe more importantly, why has it become an absolute non-negotiable for business survival, not just a nice-to-have feature?
That's a critical question, and it speaks directly to market relevance and, frankly, basic usability today.
Yeah.
Responsive web design, or RWD, is the paradigm, the approach of designing websites for flexibility and adaptability.
The term was coined by Ethan Marcotte back in 2010. Its aim is simple: provide the best possible viewing experience, smooth content reading, easy navigation with minimal panning, scrolling, or resizing, regardless of the screen size, the platform, or the orientation of the device.
So the site adapts to me, not the other way around.
Exactly. It's about the website intelligently responding to the user's environment, not forcing the user to pinch and zoom and squint to try and use a site designed only for a big desktop screen.
Why is this so critical now? Was it always this important?
Well, this mobile-first imperative is absolutely critical because modal internet usage hasn't just been rising. It has dominated global internet access for years now.
Dominated, really?
Oh, yeah. Research by InMobi found that 60% of internet access is mostly mobile. StatCounter Global Stats showed mobile internet usage increased by a staggering 67% between August 2013 and 2014 alone, while desktop access actually decreased by 21% in that same period.
Wow, that's a huge shift.
Huge. Canalys forecasted worldwide mobile device shipments, smartphones, and tablets to reach 2.6 billion units by 2016. Tablets and smartphones were growing at compound annual growth rates of 35% and 17%, respectively. As one expert famously put it, there is no mobile web. There is only the web, which we view in different ways.
Yeah, if your website isn't responsive,
you're effectively shutting out more than half of your potential audience. You're losing sales, you're frustrating users, you're damaging your brand. It's that simple.
so it's not just about convenience. It's about sheer market reach and protecting your business.
Yeah.
If your site doesn't work well on mobile, you're literally losing customers to competitors who do.
Exactly. RWD ensures a superior user experience, UX, by rendering content flawlessly, preventing users from abandoning a site due to awkward layouts, tiny text, or that frustrating excessive zooming. This directly impacts bounce rates and conversion rates.
Makes sense. Happy users stay longer, buy more.
Right, and while the initial implementation can be more costly than building a simple fixed-width site, it offers significant long-term economic advantages. Why? Because it eliminates the need to create and maintain separate versions of a website for different devices, one for mobile, one for tablet, one for desktop. That duplication leads to massive savings in time, development effort, and ongoing maintenance resources.
One site fits all, or adapts to all.
Adapts to all, exactly. And crucially, it ensures a consistent brand identity and message across all screen sizes. That consistency strengthens brand recognition and trust, which is invaluable in a competitive marketplace. This directly addresses creating business multimedia presentations that are responsive and accessible, and describing how hardware, like different devices, fundamentally impacts software design decisions.
So it's a fundamental business necessity now. Okay, I'm sold. But how is this adaptability actually achieved? What are the technical building blocks that make a website fluid and flexible like that?
There are three core elements that make RWD possible, and they really work together in concert. First, the fluid grid.
Fluid grid.
Yeah. This moves away from those outdated fixed pixel layouts. Imagine a rigid 960 pixel wide site trying to cram itself onto a 320 pixel phone screen. Doesn't work well.
No.
Instead, fluid grids use relative units, primarily percentages, for container widths. So instead of saying an image container is 300 pixels wide, you might say it's 30% of its parent container's width.
Okay, so it scales.
Exactly. This ensures that as the browser window narrows or widens, the elements inside scale proportionally. It prevents content from getting squeezed unnaturally or having weird, excessive white space. It's like designing with elastic bands rather than rigid rulers, allowing your layout to breathe and adjust gracefully.
Okay, fluid grids. What's number two?
The second element is flexible media. Images and videos, by default, are not inherently adaptive. They often stretch weirdly or get cropped, or just overflow their containers when the screen size changes.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. Looks broken.
It does. The simple yet powerful solution in CSS is to apply max width, 100% to media elements like images and videos.
100%.
Yes. This ensures they scale down proportionally to fit their container, but they won't scale up beyond their original size and become pixelated.
Oh, okay. All right.
For more advanced optimization, especially with images, the HTML5 picture element, along with the circset attribute, offers a way to serve different versions of an image based on the device's viewport size, resolution, even orientation.
So you can send a smaller file to a phone.
Exactly.
Oh.
This means smaller, optimized images load on mobile devices, which greatly improves page load times and saves users valuable mobile data. JavaScript can also pitch in here, checking device capabilities like window.device pixel ratio for high-res retina displays, or even navigator.connection to check network speed, and then dynamically load the most appropriate image for that specific context, delivering a bespoke experience.
Very cool. So fluid grids, flexible media.
Yeah.
What's the third key?
The third, and arguably the most crucial element, is CSS media queries.
Yeah.
These are really the brains of responsive design. They give it its intelligence.
The brains, okay.
Introduced as part of the CSS3 standard by the W3C, media queries allow developers to apply specific CSS styles only when certain conditions are met regarding the device or the browser viewport characteristics.
Conditions like
They use media types like screen or maybe print for printing the page, and media features like min width, max width, orientation, portrait or landscape, things like that.
So these specific width ranges are called breakpoints, right?
Uh,
And they allow you to completely change how things look at different sizes. For example, reorganizing a complex layout from, say, 3 columns on a desktop to a single column on a phone.
Exactly. Those specific width ranges are indeed called breakpoints. Common breakpoints might include 320 pixels wide for small phones in portrait mode, 480 pixels for small phones in landscape, maybe 768 pixels for 10-inch tablets in portrait, 1124 for tablets, laptops, desktops, and maybe 1200 pixels or more for large widescreen displays. This enables really powerful practical applications. For instance, a complex multi-column layout on a desktop might completely transform into a simpler single-column layout on a mobile phone. You might see a full navigation bar on desktop collapse into that little hamburger menu icon, the 3 lines, on mobile.
Right. I see that all the time.
This transformation often represents the content-first principle in action, prioritizing the essential information and making it easily accessible in a limited space, ensuring users get what they need immediately, regardless of their device.
Makes sense. Content first.
And beyond these technical elements, modern design paradigms also guide responsive development, influencing the overall strategy. The mobile-first principle, for example.
Hold on for first. What's that?
It dictates designing for the smallest screen, the mobile phone first. You focus on the absolute core content and essential functionality needed on that small screen. Then, you progressively enhance the design for larger screens, adding more features or layout complexity as space allows.
Why start small?
It forces designers and businesses to truly prioritize what is absolutely essential. It often leads to leaner, more focused, more efficient designs overall, and frequently results in faster load times across all devices because you start with the minimum and add rather than starting complex and trying to subtract. It really impacts how you structure information and even how you manage your content.
And what's the content first principle all about? It sounds like it goes hand in hand with mobile first.
It absolutely does. The content first principle emphasizes that the primary goal of any web page is, well, to provide content to the user. Because, as we often say, content is the soul of any website.
Correct.
This principle suggests that even if the presentation, CSS, or functionality, JavaScript, are compromised, maybe due to a very slow internet connection, or an old browser, or a tiny screen, the user should still be able to access the essential information easily.
So prioritize the message.
Exactly. It means prioritizing the core message over flashy design elements or complex interactions when constraints exist. Imagine browsing a news site on a really slow connection. You primarily care about reading the headlines and the articles, right? Not necessarily the complex animations or super high-resolution images. This principle guides not just the visual design, but also how you fundamentally organize and manage your information.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Prioritize the core value.
Finally, just touching on launching a website, you also have the practicalities of hosting and domain names.
Right, the nuts and bolts of getting it online.
Yeah. You need to choose reliable web hosts. These are the specialized companies with servers that store all your website files, HTML, CSS, images, etc., and make them accessible to the internet 24/7.
Lots of hosting options out there.
There are. Your choice of hosting, whether it's cheap shared hosting, a virtual private server, VPS, a powerful dedicated server, or scalable cloud hosting, significantly impacts your website's speed, its security, and its ability to handle traffic scalability.
So it affects the user experience and operations.
Directly. All of which affect user experience and your operational costs. For example, a small personal blog might be perfectly fine on inexpensive shared hosting, but a rapidly growing e-commerce platform will quickly need the robust, scalable infrastructure of cloud hosting to handle traffic spikes during sales, for instance.
So choosing a host isn't just a technical decision, it's a strategic business decision that impacts everything from your budget to your ability to handle growth and keep customers happy.
Absolutely. It underpins the entire digital experience.
And what about the domain name? That's your digital address, right? Your brand online.
Precisely. You also need to register a unique domain name. This is your website's memorable address, like GoDaddy.com or Tarleton.edu. But it's more than just an address. It's a critical branding asset.
Yeah.
A memorable, relevant domain name reinforces your brand identity, improves credibility, and is simply easier for customers to recall, type in, and share with others. Think of the strategic importance of securing a .com address versus maybe a less recognized extension for a global business. The right domain name is really an investment in your brand identity and your discoverability online.
Got it.
This entire section, thinking about static versus dynamic, CMS choices, responsive design, hosting, it provides extensive detail on the business-oriented utilization of the internet, demonstrating how to create effective digital presences that integrate with various hardware types, meaning different devices, which is a core skill for managing information systems effectively.
Okay, great. So we built our responsive, beautifully designed website. We've hosted it, got a domain name, but the work doesn't stop there, right? That's just the beginning in some way.
Not at all. You're absolutely right.
How do we know it's actually working? Reaching the right people. And maybe most importantly, staying secure in a world that seems full of relentless cyber threats. This is where the real business intelligence and resilience comes into play, I guess.
You're absolutely right. This is where the business-oriented utilization of the internet truly comes into play, moving beyond just creation into strategic management and optimization. It's about leveraging data analytics, ensuring robust security, and constantly optimizing for performance and visibility. These are all critical skills for future business leaders, being able to describe the fundamentals of IT concepts like security and privacy, and crucially, using data analytics to solve problems and make proactive adjustments.
Data is key. So where do we start with measuring success?
First, website analytics are your eyes and ears online. Platforms like Google Analytics are pretty much indispensable for tracking user behavior and understanding what's working on your site and, maybe more importantly, what isn't.
What kind of things should we be looking at?
Well, key metrics that really matter for business decision-making include things like page views, a simple count of how many times a specific page was viewed, which can indicate content popularity.
Okay.
Then there's bounce rate. That's the percentage of visitors who land on a page and then leave your site without viewing any other pages. A high bounce rate can signal problems, maybe poor design, irrelevant content, slow loading speeds, all leading to lost business potentially.
Right. People hitting the back button immediately. Not good.
Not good. Session times indicate the average duration of user visits, which can reflect engagement levels. Are people sticking around? And maybe most importantly, for many businesses, conversion rates.
Ah, the money metric.
Often, yes. This is the percentage of visitors who complete a desired action, maybe making a purchase, submitting a contact form, signing up for a newsletter. This metric is directly tied to revenue growth and achieving overall business objectives.
So these aren't just numbers for a tech team to look at. They're direct feedback on business performance. Marketers can refine ad campaigns based on which pages convert. Sales teams can see which product pages resonate most. Managers can track engagement on internal portals. It's all about data-driven decisions, right?
Exactly. This is a direct application of using data analytics to solve problems and make adjustments or recommendations in a business environment. You see what works, you do more of it. You see what doesn't, you fix it or stop doing it.
Makes sense. What else helps manage the web presence?
Well, beyond analytics for user behavior, XML, which stands for Extensible Markup Language, plays a role in sharing and structuring data between different applications.
XML. How's that different from HTML?
While HTML is about displaying data for humans, XML is more about describing and transporting data between systems. It uses tags, similar to HTML, but the tags define the data structure itself. It's essential for integrating various business software applications and enabling efficient data management across different systems.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine a complex supply chain where a manufacturer, a distributor, and a retailer all use different inventory management software. XML could provide a universal language, a common format, for their systems to talk to each other, seamlessly exchanging purchase orders, invoices, shipping notifications, inventory levels, all structured in a way that each system can understand.
Okay, so it's like a universal translator for business data.
A good way to think of it, yeah. Facilitating that integration.
Okay, now let's talk security. This is where businesses can face real-life, sometimes catastrophic, consequences if they're not careful. We've all seen the headlines: T-Mobile, Capital One, Meta, countless others experiencing massive data breaches. Why are web applications such enormous targets for cyber attacks?
It really comes down to their accessibility. Their public-facing nature makes them prime targets for a continuous, relentless assault, much like a store with its front doors always open to the street.
Always exposed.
Always exposed. Research shows nearly 35% of organizations report experiencing a significant security incident at least once a week. That's staggering. Web application security involves identifying, fixing, and preventing vulnerabilities in the code, the components, the infrastructure of websites and APIs.
APIs too.
Oh, absolutely. APIs are huge targets now. The goal is to prevent unauthorized access, data breaches, service disruptions that could impact uptime and cost the business dearly. This is central to understanding IT concepts like security and privacy, and for any business, it's fundamentally about protecting your assets, your reputation, and crucially, your customer trust. Lose that trust, and it's incredibly hard to get back.
So what can businesses actually do? What are the key protective measures?
Well, security is multi-layered. You need defense in depth. Preventative controls are a starting point. This includes implementing rigorous input validation, carefully checking and cleaning any data submitted by users before it gets processed by the application.
Why is that so important?
Because it helps block common attacks like SQL injection, where an attacker tries to sneak database commands into input fields to steal data, or cross-site scripting, XSS, where they try to inject malicious JavaScript code into your pages to attack other users. Proper validation controls what data gets processed and stops malicious code in its tracks.
Okay, check everything coming in.
Absolutely. Then there's secure authentication and session management. This means limiting access to only trusted, verified users through robust login processes, like multi-factor authentication, and securely managing user sessions after they log in so those sessions can't be easily hijacked by attackers.
Right. Keep the wrong people out, keep the right people secure.
Precisely. And as I mentioned, API security is critical now. Safeguarding those application programming interfaces from abuse, from automated attacks trying to guess passwords, credential stuffing, and from attempts to exfiltrate large amounts of data. As more businesses rely on APIs to connect services and share data, securing them becomes paramount.
Okay, so preventative measures are key. What about finding vulnerabilities before they get exploited?
That's where essential security testing comes in. And it should happen throughout the development lifecycle, not just at the end. Static application security testing, AST tools, analyze the application's source code before it's even run.
Like spell checking the code for security errors.
Kind of, yeah. It looks for insecure coding patterns, logic flaws, known vulnerabilities based on the code itself. Think of it as a pre-flight checklist for your code security.
Okay. And what about testing the running application?
That's where dynamic application security testing, DAST, and runtime monitoring come in. DAST tools interact with the running application, probing it from the outside like an attacker would, trying to find vulnerabilities that only appear under real-world conditions. Runtime monitoring watches the application as it executes, looking for suspicious behavior, including monitoring the third-party components it uses. DAST is more like crash testing the car while it's actually running on the road.
Got it. Static is checking the blueprint. Dynamic is testing the finished car.
A good analogy. Both are important.
You mentioned common threats. Are there specific ones businesses should be most aware of?
Definitely. The Open Web Application Security Project, OWASP, is a fantastic nonprofit resource. They track the most critical risks, and their famous OWASP Top 10 list highlights the most common and impactful web application security threats. Every business leader should at least be familiar with these categories.
Okay, like what's on the list?
Well, for example, broken access control is consistently near the top. This is when users can access sensitive data or perform restricted functions they shouldn't have authorization for. The business insight here is simple but devastating. Someone clicks a link they find, maybe guessing a URL, and suddenly they can see other customers' orders, or worse.
Yikes.
Injection flaws are another big one. This refers to sending untrusted data to an interpreter like a SQL database or an operating system command line as part of a command or query. If not handled carefully, it can lead to unauthorized data access or even complete system compromise. This is where a malicious piece of code can trick your system into doing something disastrous. Cross-site scripting, XSS, is also pervasive. This involves attackers injecting malicious scripts, usually JavaScript, into web pages that are then viewed by other users. These scripts can then steal session cookies, redirect users to fake login pages, deface websites. Imagine an attacker posting a malicious comment on your blog that then steals login credentials from everyone who reads that comment.
Hefty.
Very. Then there's security misconfigurations. This is a broad category, but incredibly common. It covers things like insecure default settings that weren't changed, overly detailed error messages that reveal too much about your system's internals to attackers, or leaving cloud storage buckets publicly accessible by mistake.
So basic setup errors.
Often, yes. The business insight here is often stunningly simple. A huge percentage of data breaches aren't from super sophisticated nation-state hackers, but from basic human error or neglecting to change default passwords or permissions. These simple mistakes can cost millions in fines, cleanup, and reputational damage.
Wow. Attention to detail matters.
Hugely. And finally, another major one is vulnerable and outdated components. Modern applications are built using tons of third-party libraries, frameworks, and software packages. If these components have known vulnerabilities and haven't been updated or patched regularly, attackers can easily exploit them. The risk escalates exponentially if you don't have clear visibility into your entire software supply chain, all the dependencies your application relies on.
So it's not just the code you write yourself that's a risk, but all the external tools and libraries you pull in, the entire supply chain of your software. That sounds like a potential minefield.
It can be, absolutely. Which leads to a shift we're seeing.
Which is,
Why are developers now expected to own application security rather than it being solely the IT security team's job after the fact?
yeah, why that shift?
It's a shift that businesses are demanding, driven by the speed of development and the cost of fixing things late in the cycle. Developers are increasingly expected to take ownership of application security, just like they own performance and reliability. It's part of building quality software.
So security becomes part of the development process itself.
Exactly. Tools and best practices help them automate security testing and compliance checks, integrating vulnerability scanning directly into their build pipelines, the automated processes that build and deploy software. This transforms security from being a bottleneck at the end into a continuous quality gate throughout development.
Catching problems earlier.
Much earlier, which saves enormous costs down the line compared to fixing a vulnerability discovered in production. These practices also help developers protect sensitive data through proper encryption techniques, both during transmission over the network and when stored at rest in databases. They focus on securing API endpoints to ensure services remain available to legitimate users, even during denial of service attacks. And they emphasize strengthening session management and identity verification to reduce account compromises and fraud attempts, which improves platform trust. It's all about building security in from the start, not trying to bolt it on as an afterthought.
Makes sense. Build it right the first time.
Precisely. Let's delve into maybe 7 essential web application security best practices that are crucial for any business creating or managing an online presence today. These go beyond the basics.
Okay, let's hear them.
1. Implement advanced input validation and contextual sanitization. This goes beyond just basic pattern matching. You need to validate data based on its specific sink or destination, meaning where's this data going? The rules for data going into a database query are very different from the rules for data being displayed back to the user in a JavaScript context. You need to identify all your data entry points, classify them, and build custom validation pipelines that understand the context to protect against sophisticated attack techniques that leverage things like parser differentials or weird encoding tricks. A simple mistake here can be the difference between a secure form and a major data breach.
Okay, validate based on context. Got it. Number 2.
2. Adopt a zero-trust architecture, ZTA, mindset. This is a fundamental shift. Instead of the old model of assuming everything inside your company network perimeter is trustworthy.
The castle and moat approach?
Right. ZTA says, trust no one, verify everyone, all the time. Every single access request, whether it's from outside or inside the network, needs to be continuously verified based on identity, device health, location, etc.
That sounds intensive.
It requires breaking applications into smaller segmented services with defined trust boundaries and using strong identity validation for interactions between them. But imagine you've got a corporate building. Traditional security guards the front door. ZTA puts a security checkpoint at every single office door, every file cabinet, every workstation, constantly checking IDs and permissions for every single interaction. It's a much more robust defense in today's interconnected, often borderless, threat-filled world, especially with remote work being so common.
Makes sense. Verify constantly. Number 3.
3. API gateway security with advanced rate limiting. Your APIs need smarter protection than just simple request counting. Example, allow 100 requests per minute. You can build client reputation scores based on historical behavior to dynamically adjust rate limits.
How does that help?
It allows legitimate, verified users maybe more requests, while quickly throttling or blocking clients exhibiting suspicious, potentially abusive patterns. This helps distinguish legitimate, high-volume traffic from automated attacks trying to overwhelm your systems, denial of service, or scrape data, ensuring your services remain available and responsive to genuine customers.
Smart throttling. Okay, number 4.
4. Protect against server-side request forgery, SSRF. This is a nasty attack where an attacker tricks your server into making requests on their behalf to internal systems or cloud provider metadata services that shouldn't be accessible from the outside.
So the server becomes the attacker's pawn.
Essentially, yes. They can use your server as a spy or an accomplice inside your network. Adequate protection requires multiple defensive layers, including strict URL validation against an allow list of approved hosts or IP ranges that your server is permitted to talk to, and carefully controlling DNS resolution behavior to prevent attackers from cleverly bypassing those allow lists. This is about preventing your server from being inadvertently weaponized against yourself.
Critical. Okay, number 5.
5. Content Security Policy, CSP implementation. This is a really powerful browser security mechanism, though still often underused. CSP acts like a strict bouncer for your website's content.
Oh, bouncer.
Yeah. It tells the browser exactly which sources are allowed to load scripts, styles, images, fonts, and other resources for your page. Anything not on the list gets blocked. This dramatically reduces the impact of cross-site scripting, XSS, vulnerabilities, even if one slips through your validation.
Sounds powerful. Why isn't it used more?
It can be complex to configure correctly without breaking legitimate site functionality. It requires a detailed understanding of all the third-party resources your application loads. Ideally, front-end should be designed with CSP in mind from the start. A good practice is to deploy it initially in report-only mode. This lets the browser report violations back to you without actually blocking anything, allowing you to refine the policy and gain crucial insights into potential vulnerabilities before you fully enforce it.
Okay, implement CSP carefully. Number 6.
6. Context-oriented dependency scanning with automated tools. We talked about vulnerable components. Traditional vulnerability scanners often create a lot of vulnerability noise by simply matching the version numbers of your third-party packages against known vulnerability lists.
Yeah, lots of alerts. Hard to know what's real.
Exactly. Modern tools like JIT's product security platform is one example, leverage a context engine to analyze the runtime environment of each potential vulnerability. Does your application actually use the vulnerable function within that library? Is it reachable by an attacker? This helps prioritize genuine risks that pose a real threat to your application over theoretical vulnerabilities that might not be exploitable in your specific context.
Focusing on what actually matters.
Right. These tools should scan code during pull requests before code gets merged for early detection, and also periodically scan already deployed code to catch newly discovered zero-day vulnerabilities. They often provide visualizations to help you understand how vulnerable components connect to your critical systems. This means your security and development teams can focus their limited time on fixing the threats that actually matter most to your business.
Makes sense. Prioritize based on real risk. And number 7.
7. Regular security audits and penetration testing. Beyond automated tools, bringing in external security experts for regular formal security audits and pen tests, penetration testing is crucial.
Ethical hacking.
Exactly. These experts simulate real-world attacks using the same techniques malicious actors would to find weaknesses in your defenses before the bad guys do. This proactive approach helps uncover blind spots your internal teams or automated tools might have missed, and it validates the overall effectiveness of your security controls. It's like having a professional team try to break into your digital house to show you where the locks are weak.
A necessary checkup.
Absolutely. This entire section on security is critical for describing the fundamentals of IT concepts, security, and privacy. These practices directly apply to building and maintaining secure software applications and conducting ethical business research online. These aren't optional nice-to-haves anymore. They are foundational to maintaining customer trust, protecting sensitive data, and ensuring operational integrity in the digital age.
Wow, okay. Security is definitely a huge piece. Now, shifting gears slightly. Speed is everything online, isn't it? Especially on mobile devices, people just don't wait.
They really don't. Patience is thin online.
And what about getting found in the first place? How do we make sure our carefully crafted, hopefully secure website actually loads quickly and shows up prominently in search results, translating all that effort into actual business success?
Absolutely. Performance directly impacts user engagement, conversion rates, and even your search engine rankings. Google explicitly uses page speed as a ranking factor. This is where strategic web development meets business intelligence. It allows us to use techniques like goal-seeking and what-if analysis, key business skills to make critical adjustments and recommendations in a business environment based on performance data.
How much does speed really matter?
A lot. Google's own research shows that even a delay of just half a second in load time can reduce user activities by anywhere from 0.2% to 0.6%. For a large e-commerce site, that seemingly tiny delay can translate into millions in lost revenue over a year.
Wow.
And mobile users are particularly sensitive to speed. Studies show that if your site doesn't load in under 3 seconds on mobile, a significant percentage of users are just gone. They'll abandon the site. Performance is also influenced by global internet infrastructure, so optimizing specifically for your target audience's likely network conditions is also key.
Okay, speed is critical. How do we make sites faster? What's the first step?
A crucial step is reducing web page weight, making the total download size smaller. One way is minification.
Minification.
Yeah, it involves removing all unnecessary characters from your code files, things like comments developers leave in, extra white space, spaces, tabs, line breaks from your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. This can significantly reduce their size without changing how they function. This also applies to any third-party CSS frameworks or JavaScript libraries you use.
So cleaning up the code files.
Exactly. Additionally, compression is huge. Tools like gzip, which typically saves about 6% more bandwidth than an older method called deflate, can compress your web page files, the HTML documents, scripts, style sheets by about 70% before they are sent from the server to the user's browser.
That's a massive reduction. So it's like sending a highly compressed zip file instead of a large uncompressed folder. That makes a huge difference in download speed, especially for users on slower connections or mobile data.
Exactly. It's a standard practice now for good reason. Then there's image adaptability for speed. Images often make up the largest portion of a web page's total weight in kilobytes or megabytes.
Yeah, big photos slow things down.
They do. Downloading full-resolution, high-definition images on small mobile devices drastically slows performance, wastes the user's mobile data allowance, and frankly delivers an inferior experience because the detail is lost anyway.
So what are the solutions? We mentioned flexible media.
Right. Besides basic compression, using those CSS media queries we talked about to serve appropriately sized images based on device screen resolution and pixel ratio is crucial. Don't send a giant 2,000 pixel wide image to a phone that can only display 400 pixels wide.
Makes sense.
JavaScript can also detect device capabilities and network connection speed to load optimal images. And that HTML5 picture element with certset provides a standard declarative way for the browser itself to choose the best image version from a list you provide, ensuring only the necessary, most optimized image is downloaded for a particular viewport. A user on a phone gets a smaller image file than someone on a giant desktop monitor.
Smart. Okay, what about JavaScript? Can that slow things down?
Oh, absolutely. Optimizing JavaScript interactivity is vital for perceived performance. By default, when a browser is parsing the HTML and encounters a script tag, it typically stops everything else.
It stops rendering the page.
Yes. It pauses the construction of the HTML document object model, DOM, and the CSS object model, CSSO, until that script downloads, parses, and executes. This is called parser blocking, and it can cause significant delays, making your page appear blank or unresponsive, especially on slower connections or complex pages.
That sounds bad. How do you fix it?
There are a couple of main techniques. One is using the async attribute in the script tag. This basically tells the browser, hey, you can go ahead and continue building the page while this script loads in the background. Run it whenever it's ready.
Okay.
Alternatively, a common practice is simply placing your script tags at the very end of the body tag in your HTML document. This ensures that all the main HTML content gets loaded and rendered first, so the user sees something on the screen much sooner before the browser even gets to the potentially blocking scripts.
Load the visuals first, then the interactions.
Often a good strategy for perceived performance.
Okay. What else impacts speed?
Next, reducing HTTP requests. This is a big one. A significant portion, often estimated at 80–90%, of a web page's total load time is spent simply making multiple round trips over the network. These are HTTP requests for all its individual components. Every image file, every script file, every CSS file, every font file.
Each one is a separate request.
Typically, yes. And each request adds network overhead and latency. The more requests, the slower the page generally feels.
So fewer requests is better. How do you do that?
Several techniques. One is combining files, merging multiple JavaScript files into a single script file, and multiple CSS files into a single style sheet file. This dramatically reduces the number of HTTP requests needed. One study showed a 38% faster load time just by combining scripts.
Wow, significant.
Another technique, especially for images, is CSS sprites. This involves combining multiple small images, like icons or buttons, into a single larger image file. Then you use CSS properties, background image and background position, to display only the specific small portion of that larger image that you need at any given time. This replaces potentially dozens of small image requests with just one request for the single sprite sheet.
Clever. Like a digital sticker sheet.
Exactly like that. Image maps are similar, often used for contiguous images like navigation bars. And inline images allow you to embed very small image data directly into the HTML or CSS using something called the data URL scheme. This completely eliminates the separate HTTP request for that image, but it's generally only practical for very small, critical images as it increases the size of the HTML or CSS file itself.
Okay, combine things, use sprites. What else?
And finally, for performance, don't forget HTTP caching. This is fundamental. Browsers are designed to store copies of web resources, HTML files, CSS, JavaScript, images, fonts in a local cache on the user's computer or phone.
So they don't have to download everything again.
Exactly. When the user revisits your site or navigates to another page that uses the same resources, the browser can retrieve those files instantly from its local cache without needing to make a new request all the way back to your web server. This significantly improves response times for repeat visitors and also reduces the load on your server.
How does the browser know when to use the cache or get a new version?
That's controlled by HTTP headers sent by the web server along with the files. These headers dictate the caching policies, how long a file can be cached, whether it needs to be revalidated. For content that changes frequently, servers can use e-tags. These are like unique version identifiers or fingerprints for a file. The browser sends the e-tag it has for a cached file, and the server can quickly respond, "Yep, that's still the current version," a 304 not modified response, without sending the whole file again, or it sends the new version if it has changed. This validation process is much faster than re-downloading the entire file. Caching is a game changer for perceived speed, ensuring that once a user visits your site, subsequent visits feel lightning fast.
Okay, so we've got our super fast, perfectly optimized site. Performance is nailed. But if no one can find it in the first place, what's the point?
Exactly. Performance is necessary, but not sufficient.
This leads us naturally to SEO, search engine optimization.
Right.
And you mentioned earlier, SEO in 2025 is looking like a whole new ballgame, isn't it? It's not just about ranking #1 on Google anymore.
It absolutely is, and the landscape has fundamentally transformed. SEO strategy in 2025 is no longer just about chasing that top organic ranking on a Google search results page, SERP.
Why not?
Because users now discover content through a much wider range of platforms. They ask questions to AI chatbots like ChatGPT, they search on YouTube, they browse Reddit, they see AI overviews generated directly by Google within the search results themselves. Data shows over 58.5% of Google searches now end without a click on a traditional website link, often because the AI or a featured snippet provided the answer directly.
Wow, more than half don't result in a click.
Yeah, so the focus has to shift. It's moving towards traffic quality, getting the right visitors who are likely to convert, and brand visibility across multiple platforms where your audience spends their time.
So think broader than just Google rankings.
Much broader. This means you need to start by defining clear business goals, not just chasing vanity metrics. Instead of obsessing over ranking #1 for a specific keyword just for the sake of it, focus on what truly drives tangible business outcomes.
Like what?
Like generating new qualified leads, increasing monthly recurring revenue, getting more demo requests for your software, or driving more organic revenue specifically from your product pages. This directly links back to applying goal-seeking and what-if analysis fundamental business skills to your SEO efforts. What SEO activity actually moves the needle on our business objectives?
Right. Measure what matters.
Exactly. You need to track what truly matters. Monitor your brand search volume trends. Are more people searching directly for your company name over time? That's a great sign. Look at direct traffic increases, people typing your URL directly. Track your share of voice. How visible are you compared to your key competitors across relevant topics? Monitor organic traffic specifically to your high converting pages. Analyze customer lifetime value trends from organic visitors.
So focusing on metrics that connect to the bottom line.
Yes. And supplement this quantitative data with qualitative insights from customer surveys, social media listening, or mentions on forums like Reddit. Resist the urge to obsess over vanity metrics like your total number of keyword rankings or your overall domain authority score if they don't demonstrably correlate with achieving your actual business goals.
Okay, so know your goals, track the right metrics. What's next in this new SEO world?
The next crucial step is to research keywords across all the platforms where your audience might be looking for information. We call this search everywhere optimization.
Search everywhere. Okay, where do you start?
Start with customer intelligence, dive into your own data, leverage product reviews. What language do happy, unhappy customers use? Support tickets. What problems are they trying to solve? Recordings of sales calls. What questions do prospects ask? Even direct messages on social media. Understand the natural language your customers use, their pain points, their goals. This can uncover unique topics and keyword angles your competitors might be completely missing.
Mind your own customer interactions first. Smart.
Then, perform thorough competitor analysis. Identify your main rivals' highest traffic commercial intent pages, their product pages, service pages, comparison pages, pricing pages. Use SEO tools to uncover the entire clusters of keywords that are driving their success, not just the obvious head terms.
See what's working for them.
Right. Beyond that, use Google Autocomplete. Start typing relevant terms into Google and see what suggestions pop up. These are often great long-tail keywords that are less competitive and highly specific to user intent.
Okay.
Engage with AI tools like ChatGPT. Ask it questions related to your topic from a user's perspective. See how it answers, how it categorizes information, what related questions it suggests. This reveals conversational keywords, question patterns, and how AI models understand the topic landscape, which increasingly influences search.
Using AI to understand AI search. Meta.
A little bit, yeah. And don't forget, YouTube, the world's second largest search engine. How are people searching for video content related to your field? Or Reddit, where discussions in relevant subreddits often reveal unique pain points, niche questions, and popular content formats like AMAs, guides, discussions that can inspire your content strategy beyond traditional Google searches.
Wow, okay. It's a much wider net for keyword research now.
Much wider. Once you have this broad starter list, you can use traditional keyword research tools to validate search volume, assess difficulty, and refine your final list. But this comprehensive approach is fundamental to using web-based technologies to conduct ethical business research, ensuring you understand your audience and the entire market landscape thoroughly.
Okay, research done. Now what?
Next, you need to deeply analyze the search intent and the competitive landscape for each target keyword or topic. Go back to Google, search your target keyword, and meticulously study the first page of results. You need to decode what users who search that term really want.
How do you do that?
Look for content format dominance. Are most of the top results long-form guides, short listicles, product pages, videos? That tells you the preferred format. Note the typical content depth. Are they quick 800-word answers or comprehensive 3,000-word deep dives? Pay close attention to SRP features. Are there featured snippets? People also ask. Boxes, image packs, video carousels. These give clues about different facets of the user's intent. And look at platform diversity. Does Google prominently feature results from YouTube, Reddit, or other non-traditional sites? This indicates users might want different perspectives or formats for that query.
So dissecting what Google already thinks users want for that search.
Exactly. Then find your competitive edge, critically evaluate the content of the top-ranking pages. Are they complete? Are they up to date? Is the user experience good? Are they credible and trustworthy? EEAT. Do they offer unique value? Identify the content gaps, the weaknesses, the areas where you can create something demonstrably better.
Find the opportunity to improve.
Right. Finally, synthesize all this analysis into a comprehensive SEO brief for each target keyword or topic. Document the likely search intent, the winning content format, the required depth, the key platforms to consider, the identified content gaps, and how this piece fits into your overall business goals. This brief serves as your detailed roadmap for creating winning content.
Okay, got the roadmap. Now actually creating the content.
This leads us to creating authority-driven content. In 2025, your goal is content that not only perfectly matches the search intent, but also demonstrates genuine experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, the EEAT factors Google emphasizes.
How do you achieve that?
First, match intent. Deliver exactly what searchers want in the most suitable format. If they search best SEO tools, they likely want a curated list based on actual usage and comparison, not a philosophical essay on SEO.
Give them what they came for.
Exactly. Second, include a strong hook and unique referenceable elements. This could be original statistics from your own research, proprietary data analysis, eye-catching custom charts or infographics, or sharp, quotable insights that others will want to reference and link to, make it memorable and valuable.
Stand out from the crowd.
Yes. Third, invest in thoughtful design. Use clean, scannable layouts with short paragraphs, clear headings, bullet points, and relevant visuals, like maybe a comprehensive checklist accompanied by a downloadable template. Make it easy and pleasant for users to consume the information.
So it's not just about the words, it's presenting the information effectively, making it easy to consume, visually appealing, maximizing impact.
Precisely. And fourth, really lean into those EET principles. Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. This is more important than ever, especially with the rise of AI-generated content potentially flooding search results.
How do you demonstrate EEAT?
Infuse your content with specific, real-world examples, detailed case studies, lessons learned from actual experience, and original insights that only someone with genuine experience in the field could provide. If possible, collaborate with recognized subject matter experts, SMEs, to co-author or review content to bolster credibility. Show, don't just tell, your expertise.
Authenticity matters.
Critically. Fifth, strive for information gain. Don't just rehash what everyone else is saying. Offer something genuinely new or significantly better than the existing content ranking for that term. This could be original research, a unique framework or methodology you've developed, custom visuals, more advanced tactics, or simply superior organization and clarity. Answer the user's implicit next question.
Add real value.
Yes. And finally, use AI thoughtfully. Leverage AI tools for brainstorming outlines, generating examples, summarizing research, or creating first drafts. But always maintain human control over the core strategy, the unique insights, the brand voice, and critically, the infusion of lived experience and expertise needed to achieve EET. AI is a powerful assistant, not a replacement for human authority in critical thinking and content creation.
Use AI as a tool, not a crutch.
Right.
Okay, content created, now what? Optimize it.
Right. Then you need to optimize for clarity and context, which is essentially modern on-page SEO. Forget old-school keyword stuffing.
Okay, what does that involve?
Your title tags and headings, H1, H2s, H3s, should be simple, clearly aligned with the main keyword and topic, and descriptive. They act like a table of contents, guiding both users and search engines through the structure of your content.
Make it easy to scan and understand.
Exactly. Keep your URL structure short, focused on the primary keyword, and free of unnecessary parameters or long strings of numbers. Use internal links strategically. Link to other relevant guides or pages on your own site using descriptive anchor text, the clickable words. This helps users discover more related content and builds topical context for search engines, showing how your content pieces connect.
Building a web of information.
Precisely. Focus on semantic relevance. Instead of just repeating the main keyword over and over, keyword stuffing, which search engines now penalize, naturally include related terms, synonyms, and cover the topic comprehensively. Think about the whole cluster of related concepts and maintain a clean content structure and scannability with those clean layouts, short paragraphs, bullet points, and distinct sections. This helps maintain reader engagement and also helps AI models better understand your content's hierarchy and overall information architecture.
Got it. Clarity and context. Are the technical basics still important?
Oh, absolutely. Don't overlook technical optimization basics. Things like writing compelling meta descriptions, the short snippet that appears in search results, to entice clicks, optimizing your images, using descriptive file names, providing helpful alt text for accessibility and context, compressing them for speed, ensuring your overall page speed remains fast, and confirming your site is fully mobile responsive. These fundamentals still matter a great deal. This all ties back to demonstrating proper file management techniques for images and sitemaps, and integrating business software applications like SEO tools and analytics for a cohesive digital strategy.
Okay, on-page and technical SEO, done. What about getting links from other sites? Is that still a thing?
Yes, but the approach has evolved. The next crucial part is to build links and earn citations. In 2025, you need to think less like a traditional link builder just trying to acquire links, and more like a PR professional focused on comprehensive visibility and authority across the web.
PR professional. How so?
It means focusing on earning high-quality links naturally from relevant, trusted sources within your industry. It also means getting your brand mentioned alongside competitors in relevant blogs, forums, news articles, and social conversations, even without a direct link sometimes. And building a consistent citation profile, mentions of your brand name, address, phone number if applicable, across the web. It's about building genuine authority and becoming a recognized, trusted voice.
So quality over quantity, earned, not bought.
Exactly. Strategies include competitor link analysis. Use tools to find out who is linking to your top competitors and why. Can you replicate their success or offer something even better to earn similar links?
Okay.
Statistics link building is powerful conduct, original research or surveys. Compile interesting industry data and present it with clean charts or simple stats that journalists, bloggers, and other creators will love to quote and link back to as a source.
Create linkable assets.
Right. And offer expert commentary to journalists through platforms like H.Schuessler, Help a Reporter Out, or services like Featured. Respond to journalist queries in your area of expertise. If they use your quote, you often get a mention and a valuable link from a news site. It's about actively building genuine authority and visibility.
Okay. Be the expert. Last step. Keep it fresh.
You got it. Finally, and this is often overlooked but has huge ROI, improve and update content. Content maintenance is one of the highest impact SEO activities you can do. Websites are not static billboards. They are living, breathing entities that require ongoing care.
So don't just publish and forget.
Definitely not. Regularly perform optimizations. These are small on-page tweaks, maybe updating a few stats or improving clarity. Perform upgrades. These are more significant changes. Maybe 15–70% of the content is revised, adding new sections, refreshing examples, updating based on new trends, and sometimes perform full rewrites, substantial overhauls where 70% or more of the content is changed, perhaps because the entire topic is shifted or the old piece is just too outdated.
Different levels of updates.
Right. This tiered approach allows you to prioritize your resources effectively. Also, consider consolidating multiple older, weaker pages that target similar keywords into one stronger, more comprehensive pillar asset. This can often dramatically boost traffic and authority, as many case studies have shown.
Combine forces.
Exactly. When updating, think of it like a health check. Replace outdated tool recommendations, fix broken links, update old screenshots, address any new angles or questions that competitors are now covering. Keep your content fresh, accurate, relevant, and the best resource available on that topic. This entire SEO section is fundamental to using web-based technologies to conduct ethical business research and applying goal-seeking and what-if analysis to solve problems and make adjustments recommendations in a business environment through data-driven content and ranking strategies.
Wow. Okay, that was a deep dive into optimization and SEO. This has been a whirlwind tour through the intricate world of web development. So let's bring it home. For someone just starting out, especially a business student here in the Dr. Ciampa College of Business, how do all these web development skills, the coding, the design, the security, the analytics, the SEO, how does it all translate into tangible, real-world career advantages? It feels like it's much more than just learning to code.
Oh, much more. This knowledge isn't just theoretical. It's a genuine, significant career advantage, especially in a dynamic, high-growth market like we have right here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
DFW is booming, right?
Right. Absolutely. It's about not just knowing the tools, but fundamentally understanding their application in a business context. That understanding empowers you to contribute at a much higher strategic level and really own your career growth, making you indispensable, not just replaceable. The DFW metropolitan area is consistently ranked as one of the top job markets in the country for recent college graduates. We're seeing robust job creation, particularly in professional and business services, and of course, the technology sectors.
Good news for graduates.
Very good news. Employment specifically for computer and information systems managers, for example, is projected by the Bureau of Labor Statistics to grow much faster than the average for all occupations nationally, with a median annual wage sitting around $171,200 as of May 2024. And even BBA graduates right here in Dallas command a median-based salary of approximately $80,000 starting out. These aren't just abstract statistics. They represent incredible opportunities for your future right here.
That's incredible. Serious earning potential. So what specific job opportunities are out there for graduates who have this kind of blended business and IT skill set? People who understand not just the technical how, but also the strategic why behind web development and digital presence.
DFW offers a really wide range of opportunities for that profile. Of course, there's the direct path into web development and software engineering. There's continuous demand here for front-end developers working on the user interface with HTML, CSS, JavaScript frameworks, full-stack developers handling both front-end and back-end, and web software developers. These roles require proficiency in those languages, and modern frameworks like React, Angular, Node.js, often paired with back-end skills in languages like C# or Python. These are the hands-on builders.
Okay, the core tech roles. What else?
Beyond pure coding, graduates with that blend of business acumen and IT skills are highly sought after for roles such as business analyst and business solution analyst.
Bridging the gap.
Exactly. Imagine a business analyst who truly understands how a website's new feature might impact online sales funnels, or how a change in the customer database structure affects marketing campaigns downstream. These roles often require degrees in business administration or information systems because they translate business needs into technical requirements and vice versa. They are the crucial communicators between technical teams and business stakeholders.
That sounds like a great fit for business students with tech savvy.
It really is. Also, as businesses grapple with just vast amounts of information, there's a huge and growing need for professionals in data and information management. This leads to opportunities as database administrators, data analysts, or in the broader field of big data. Proficiency in tools like Power BI for visualization, SQL for database interaction, and maybe Python for data processing gives you a significant advantage here. This is where you leverage those analytic skills we discussed earlier to extract meaningful insights from website data and drive strategic decisions.
Turning data into action.
Precisely. DFW is also a major hub for IT project and operations management. There's high demand for IT professionals who can lead development teams, manage project timelines and budgets, and ensure systems run smoothly and reliably. A Management Information Systems (MIS) degree is highly relevant here for roles like support engineer, DevOps engineer, bridging development and operations, or IT project manager. These roles require not just technical understanding, but also strong organizational, communication, and leadership skills.
Managing the tech and the teams.
Right. And tying back to our earlier discussion, with the ever-growing concerns over data breaches and privacy regulations, jobs in cybersecurity are consistently in high demand. Roles ranging from security analyst monitoring for threats to information security managers developing security policies are crucial for protecting sensitive corporate and customer data and maintaining business continuity. This directly applies your understanding of web application security principles.
Lots of diverse opportunities. It sounds like a really fertile ground for these skills. But are there any specific skills gaps you're seeing? Areas where students can really focus to make themselves even more competitive, to truly stand out in this thriving market?
Absolutely. While those foundational web development skills, HTML, CSS, basic JavaScript, are essential table stakes now, job postings frequently require deeper dives into specific modern frameworks like React, Node.js, or Angular. Employers want to see you can build complex, interactive applications using current tools.
Go beyond the basics.
Yes. Also, gaining exposure to generative AI tools and understanding how they can be applied in software development for things like code generation, testing, documentation is quickly becoming a key differentiator. Understanding AI's capabilities and limitations is valuable.
Embrace the new tools.
Definitely. And mastering data analysis tools beyond basic spreadsheets, particularly SQL for querying databases directly, and data visualization tools like Tableau or Power BI to communicate insights effectively provides a significant competitive advantage for both business and IT graduates. Data-driven decision-making is paramount everywhere.
Makes sense. Technical skills are key. What about softer skills?
But here's where it gets particularly interesting, especially for business students looking at tech-related roles. Employers consistently emphasize critical thinking, complex problem-solving, and teamwork as top priorities. And critically, the ability to clearly communicate complex technical concepts to non-technical business leaders. Can you translate tech speak into business impact? That ability is a crucial skill for IT managers, business analysts, project managers, anyone who needs to justify tech investments or explain technical challenges. This directly links to the communication styles we've been trying to model in this deep dive. You need to be able to tell the story of the technology's value.
Be the translator, the bridge builder.
Exactly. And finally, never underestimate the power of soft skills and internships. Companies truly value real-world experience and demonstrated ability to work effectively in collaborative project teams. Internships offer invaluable practical experience. In fact, a University of Texas study showed that MIS majors who completed internships had a significantly higher starting salary, over $5,200 mean monthly salary back then, highlighting the undeniable financial and experiential value of applying classroom knowledge in a practical professional setting before graduation. These experiences are often the bridge from academia to landing that great first job and accelerating your career.
Get that real-world experience. Makes total sense.
And pulling it all together, your understanding of web development skills, as covered in Chapter 9 in our discussion today,
Mm-hmm.
directly reinforces so many of your core business and IT learning outcomes from a course like BCIS 1305.
How so?
Well, from describing fundamental information technology concepts, hardware, software security, to demonstrating proper file management, handling web assets, creating dynamic business documents and presentations using web tech, managing data in databases, often the back end of websites, integrating various business software applications like CMS, analytics, security tools. These web skills provide a comprehensive practical framework.
It all connects.
It really does.
Yeah.
They empower you to use web-based technologies effectively to conduct ethical business research, like SEO competitor analysis, and apply analytical techniques like goal-seeking and what-if analysis to solve real problems and make data-driven recommendations in almost any business environment. You're not just learning isolated tools, you're developing a strategic, integrated mindset for leveraging technology in business.
That's a powerful way to look at it.
So recapping today, we've journeyed through the really dynamic landscape of web development, starting with the foundational languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that construct our online world.
Right, the building blocks.
Through the strategic choices businesses make between building static or dynamic sites using various tools like builders or CMS, the absolute necessity of responsive design for reaching modern audiences on any device, and the critical importance of robust web application security in today's threat-filled digital age.
Security first.
Always. We then explored how to truly optimize a website for both performance, making it fast, and visibility, making it findable through intelligent SEO strategies that adapt to the changing search landscape. And finally, we connected all these technical dots to tangible, real-world career pathways available right here in a thriving market like DFW.
So that sleek e-commerce site you love using, or that intuitive university portal that makes registration easy, or maybe that engaging business blog that always seems to have the answers you need, it's all powered by HTML, giving it structure. Styled beautifully with CSS for brand consistency, made interactive and engaging with JavaScript, built responsively using media queries to work flawlessly on every device, protected by layers of robust security measures to safeguard your data, and constantly tuned and optimized with data-driven SEO to ensure it gets seen by the right people and actually achieves its business goals.
Well said.
The magic we perceive isn't really magic, is it? It's not a single trick, but more like a masterful symphony of all these different elements working together harmoniously to create an engaging, secure, and ultimately effective digital presence that truly drives business success.
A symphony is a great metaphor for it.
So, if you want to keep leveling up your understanding of business technology and stay ahead in your career journey, make sure you like this deep dive, subscribe to the deep dive, and maybe share it with your network or classmates. And definitely check the description below for those additional resources that can help you continue building your expertise in these areas.
Please do. Now, for a final thought to leave you with. Considering the incredibly rapid evolution we're seeing with artificial intelligence, particularly in how search engines work and how content is being created, how might your understanding of these core web development principles, everything from content structure and user experience design to robust security practices and data analytics, how might that understanding need to evolve to give you an even greater competitive edge in the next 5 years? How can you use this foundation to make yourself not just informed, but truly indispensable in an AI-augmented future?
That's a great question to ponder. The future of business isn't just about what you know. It's really about how you apply technology strategically to make things happen. Thanks for listening.